Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper going to bring you another game of StarCraft 2, and today my opponent is Galfi. I wonder if I should come up with a new intro. I mean, I know I'm talking to my entire fan base right here, and I'd really like to know, is my intro something that's good? I mean, H to the Usky Husky sounds pretty good. StarCraft, when he signs on, he's like, fuck you. And, I just feel like am I kind of in the middle? Like, I'm not quite as professional as some of the other people, but I'm maybe not quite as unprofessional as some of the other people. I don't really know. I'm going to give it some major thought. Anyway, this map, Cloud Kingdom, one of my favorite maps. Very, very fond of this map. I guess this was actually the winner of a Team Liquid map contest. And just when you talk about a map that has a lot of different ways you can play it, I mean, it really encourages drop ships just because of, how wide open the map is, high points like this, things like this, where you can just very easily get in behind a mineral line, just be super harassing. And as far as Zerg goes, it encourages not one, but two, but four very quick expansions. Xel'Naga's right in the middle, creep spread being absolutely imperative. You really need it. You want to try to get up to the middle point in the map, if not better than that, otherwise excuse me, it can be very difficult to know what's going on. So if we check this out, not much to check out at this point in the game. We can see that Galfi is just choosing to continue to build SCVs at this point, and, I guess as far as it goes, I'm not really sure if I understand why you would send out that SCV right there for scouting when you could start your barracks a little bit quicker, but again, there's other people that might not understand why I do what I do, but we can see his first barracks coming down, that SCV just ready right there to stop, and I think that Terran are just getting sick of having that main worker killed, so it's almost like they bring out a second SCV almost as, like, an instinctive timing, knowing that this Zerg is going to be a dick, and we can see his scouting SCV coming out over here, and for myself, I've been really fearful of 2-racks and like fast pushes or anything like that, and Galfi right here, he's asking, seeing any 2-racks nowadays, and I'm thinking that he's probably hoping that I would do something, kind of like a fast expand or whatever else, but I'm not going to, and actually I'm going to float too many minerals for too long, and I'm like, nah, brah, I'm going pool first. I mean, if you want to try to 2-racks me, that's cool, but I'll stop it. Maybe if you all-in me, might work. And I'm like, a few with happy eyes, which is just always so neat. It's awesome just to be GM. And if we check this out, it doesn't look like Galfi is going to try to do any type of crazy stuff. He's not going to try to, supply depot me or put up NG Bay or anything like that. And for myself, I'm going to get 100 gas, I'm going to go for speed, and then I'm going to pull off a gas just because it's something that I never did before, because I'm like, well, am I going to have the attention span or the micro to get it back on? And it turns out that I do. And doing this just gives you that nice little boost that you need to get those queens out quicker, and it's not like you're spending that gas on anything at that time. I mean, banking it for later isn't necessarily bad, but you can go and get it when you need it. As long as you time it right, you should be just fine. So if we take a look at the inside of Galfi's base, he's probably very afraid of some type of shenanigans on my part. We can see a bunker coming down very early, no second tech structure being built at this point, because he saw my pool first, and then he saw my expand. So he's probably thinking some type of like all-in, like laying, and when he comes in here, probably his worst fears are going to be relieved, or maybe not. Actually, I would say that because he doesn't see me on gas right now, that to him should anyways mean that he's probably not going to see a terribly fast bangling nest, and that's one reason to keep your workers on gas for a little bit longer, is just you want to transition into banglings enough to blow this wall down, and see what you can see. So I'm waiting for my second hatchery to go up right now. My first queen is on the way, speed is on the way, and you can see that we basically got full saturation here, and these lings are going to give me a little bit of map control. I actually produced 6 units of them, and the reason why I did that is I just was not really sure what to expect from Galfi, and it's one of those things where if you come over here and you find 2 or 3 Marines guarding a command center that's under the way, then you can be like, okay, cool, I've got enough lings as long as he doesn't micro like a beast, which a lot of people do, and hopefully I'll be able to do some crazy damage to him. Income tab right now, let's see here, favors the Terran ever so slightly, and I think that's just because I spent a few too many larvae. Well, I won't say a few too many, but I spent those larvae building the lings, and I find that this is a good timing to get workers back in your gases. After that first set of inject pops, build 3 workers off of that and put them on your gas. So right here we can see that I'm poking up, and I'm going to lose 2 of my lings, but if we check this out, I was able to spot him building that command center inside of his base, and to me, that's, I like seeing that because it means a couple things. One, I saw here that there's Marines in the bunker, but there was only 2 of them out here. So he's definitely fortifying this front. He's very, very afraid that something's going to happen. But to me, that means that those fortifications that would normally be down here at the wall are back here, which makes this command center just extremely vulnerable. He's going for double command center. This is an extremely greedy Terran. We have the factory coming up, and I'm thinking he's getting that more or less just to transition into something else. So right now, myself, I desperately, desperately want to get Zerglings in there and blow up his base. I'm getting an evolution chamber, and I'm doing that just in case I happen to see or need some anti-Banshee tech or anything like that. We can see I've gotten my second gas very quickly in preparation for the Banelane nest, and I want that just so I can build my lair behind this Banelane pressure and have enough gas to have enough Banelanes where if I decide to go in, I can just wreck absolutely anything. And I'm very surprised to see the double command center. And he kills my Overlord over here, and I'm like, I didn't see anything. And he built them over here just so I didn't see that, and he's probably so happy that I didn't see that double command center, otherwise I would for sure be expanding. So for right now, the Terran could actually out-expand and outwit me at this point in the game, and we have double starport coming down, so this is just a crazy amount of structure coming out of the main base. And if we check this out, he is so money-starved right now. He doesn't have the money to do anything whatsoever, but I don't know about it. There's going to be mules coming down like crazy. His income is going to skyrocket, and he is very fortified at the front. So the only benefit now is that I'm working off of 2 bases, but our harvesters are almost dead equal because I am doing a very poor job at macroing. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I have good saturation here. Going over to the production tab, we can see that I'm building creep tumors, overlords, but I'm not building harvesters. I need to get more harvesters so bad. I mean, this is the time where I should be taking, like, so many expansions. If we check this out, he's actually sending out Marines to each one of these bases right here just because he wants to deny my expand, and we can see right here he actually is going to have a Marine ready to spot that, and these Lings are going to come up here and they're going to confirm exactly what I wanted to see. There's a small handful of Marines. He actually even pulled drones right there expecting more Lings, which to me when I saw that, that's like, okay, you're weak, I should be able to come in and maybe do something to you. I'm up 43 to 36 harvesters, APM right now for both of us, just kind of low. Wow, we suck. We really need to, you know, learn how to play StarCraft. But if we check this out, +1 attack coming down, 12 Zerglings, and I was actually able to get that hatchery up. So he knows it's going down. He saw that I have a few Lings out on the field, but I don't think he knows just quite how many Lings I intend to build at this point. So as far as income goes, I'm at 43 and he's at 40, so he's doing a good job matching me. I pretty much have all the saturation I need on the minerals. So for the attack, I have what I want, which is kind of nice. And this attack is going to come at a fairly decent time right here, because if we look at this, he has double tech labs on this. He is going for personal cloaking field, so he's going to try to roll out with a lot of Banshees. We see a lot of barracks, just tech everywhere. Where the heck are those Banshees? Has he built any? No, I believe these are the first 2 Banshees that are coming out. So right here we can see I have a lot of Banelings out in the field. I have a good amount of Zerglings, and that's about what I'm going to have for the attack. We can see I'm producing 18 more Lings, and neither of us have produced any attacking units because we're both about ready for our timing push. And right here, this Marine, oh, he is going to go down. I see the bunker, I see the number of Marines right there, and I'm like, you know what? Banelanes, da-da-da, and everyone dies. That just sucks. Boom. Marines going down right here. Can I get a decent surround on these SCVs that needs to blow up, and these Lings going to do a decent job stopping the mining, going to get a lot of SCV kills, which is just always a great feeling. And the Banshees have been revealed, probably not in the way that my opponent was hoping for, and that Mule was able to escape, but wasting a lot of his mining time. So if we check this out, I was able to kill 13 of his workers, which is always a good feeling. He's down to 33 harvesters. He's revealed his Banshee tech. So if we go back to the game, because I'm awesome, I do that sometimes, we can see that I have 6 Spore Crawlers coming up, 2 Queens, 11 more drones. So behind that attack, I was droning, getting everything that I needed ready, and we can see I have 3 Spine Crawlers. So, I mean, send your Banshees at me, bro. I mean, you would need to send like 6 or 7 Banshees to actually be able to deal with this number of Spine Crawlers right here, because if you come in to attack this one, you're going to be in range of this one as well, and his Banshees are going to come up here, see that, and be like, oh, fuck that shit. Oh, nice. You're done. And if we check this out, I have more Lings in his base. I was able to run him before he could rebuild anything. That refinery is probably going to just burn itself down now, and these Lings going to be blocked out. They need to stop attacking there and stop wasting their lives. I really should try to kill that bunker. What am I doing? I'm just wasting Zerglings. No, that's awful. And that Marine, he is going to die. Yep. I think that was just kind of an attack A move that I did on myself right here, so let's see if he actually decides to repair that refinery. I'm very interested if he's going to let that die, and it's just one thing where if you can pick up a refinery, especially when they want to mine off of it, it's always a good feeling because then they have to rebuild it, and more Lings coming in, nothing in that bunker, and these guys are just going to be exceptionally annoying, and I really do not need to attack that right now. I need to attack the Marines, I need to try to do some damage. And these Banshees right now, this is all time that these Banshees, you know, they've gotten a couple kills. Like this guy's gotten 8 kills, but they're all Zerglings. They're not what he wants to kill. And he's completely almost stopped Banshee production because he knows that they're just not going to do a lot of damage. He has 2 back here, 2 going out. And these Queens, this is so cool. So I actually do a cross transfuse right there, which is awesome. But he's going to cloak. and both these Banshees are going to leave. The Queens are like, it was fun, and now they're bloody messes, but there's just not much he can do. The Spore Crawler placement is fairly good. I would really like to have one more back there, but it'll give my Queen vision, and if we check this out right here, 25 SCVs killed to the one worker that he has killed. So, on an income standpoint, I am vastly ahead of him. Both of those Banshees. Oh, that Banshee's down. This Banshee might be able to get in here. Oh, no, don't kill my poor little workers. They don't deserve it. They're so young. 2, 3, and now he's working on the gas. And I wonder how long I let this go on. I mean, I do have other things to be looking at, like these Banelings warping down here, because I'm going to go and I'm going to continue to harass him this way. And my logic is that if he's still pushing out with Banshees, which he is, he's going to have to do one of two things. He's going to have to stop pushing out with Banshees to deal with these Lings, or I'm just going to continue to come in here, kill his economy, and stop him from expanding, maintain my map control. I have 3 bases. I have a lot of money up and running right now, and we can actually see right here, there's a worker. That worker just wants to be awesome, and I'm going to be able to grab a few free tank kills here. This is so awesome. All of those Banelings going down, the tanks dying. That's just got to be a terrible feeling. And right here, those Marines, oh god, I should have blew up that Baneling. I could have gotten in the base. I probably could have ended the game right there if I was just a little bit more persistent. And so many SCVs going to die here, it's just not even funny. My Lings do have their +1 attack, so they're just SCV killing machines. I love that play, putting them on the gas, so there's less SCVs exposed. And there's 41 SCVs down. That's got to be an absolute terrible feeling. And you know, one thing that he has going for him is that second orbital command is allowing him to remax those, and having 5 mules is definitely not hurting the income at all for a Terran player, but every one of these attacks has actually cost him quite a bit. These Banshees have done almost nothing. If we check out units lost right now, we can see it's favoring me by a sizable margin. I'm getting ready to take my 4th base. My creep spread is starting to reach it's not at the middle point of the map, it's at about the 40%. So for myself, I have my infestation pit down, I have a macro hatch coming up, I need to switch over to Hive Tech, my Spire is ready to go, and at this point, I'm kind of deciding that, you know what, I'm going to get some Mutalisks out on the field for a couple of reasons. One, I want to shut those Banshees down, I want to discourage any type of drop play, and 2, I have a feeling that I can transition beautifully into a Muta Harass, so I feel like I'm almost pulling a Terran right here as far as it goes, where I'm just kind of harassing my opponent into submission. If we check this out, his main base is almost completely mined out. He will not be able to be here for much longer, so he absolutely needs to secure this 3rd base. The entire game right now hinges on him securing this. So if I can actually deny this base, I will effectively, I won't say I'll win the game, but I will make it so incredibly difficult for him to win because of all the economic damage I've done. If we check this out, 62 over 40, and that's not counting the 41 SCVs that he has lost. So that's just absolutely ridiculous. These Mutas actually able to pick off that Marine. No, oh, they didn't get over there. They did not see it. That is exceptionally sad. I could have denied and maybe even killed that expansion. We can see he actually has a push moving out into the middle of the map right now. I poked back here. I was able to get a few kills, you know, snipe a few workers, but right now, oh, no, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out that missile turret, and I'm going to try to drop the refinery. Dropping a refinery, again, it's just kind of annoying because you'll usually kill a few SCVs on it, and then that's just guy's time that he doesn't have. So if we check this out, my army is just not in a good place. I was able to get a fungal down on those Banshees, but he was able to kill one of my infestors. That fungal might not have been worth it. Cloaking, sad face. More fungals going down on top of all the units. My Mutalisk is getting here just in time. Going to be able to clean up that ground army. There's not enough Marines here to deal with the number of Mutalisks. And these Banshees, they are going to live another day, but every single one of the tanks is going to perish, and these guys, there's just not too much they can do. All they can really do at this point is just scout. You know, he can check out and see where it is, and he's attack moving over here, hoping that he can maybe do some damage. And if I were him, I would actually attempt to maybe pick off some of these infestors, just because they're very, very valuable units. So my 4th base is up and running, but I have not done much with it yet. We can see that he's migrated over beautifully to his 3rd base. Income tab right now is only favoring me by a little bit. I'm favored very heavily on gas. He's just now getting to rebuilding that refinery, so that Mutalisk attack definitely, you know, worth its weight. That's all gas time that he just does not have, and he doesn't have a lot of gas right now. That's only about 3 tanks a minute that I think he can afford to build, which is kind of neat for myself. So my Hive Tech is coming, and I'm continuing to build more Mutalisks, because I figure if I can have the Mutalisks, I can have the map control. Now, the one thing that that's going to do is I've built about 25 to 30 Mutalisks, so you got to think at 100 gas apiece, I've already used an entire extractor worth of gas on Mutas. Mutas are not cheap, guys, so when they die, I mean, you feel every single loss. It's definitely not fun. You don't want to use them for that main engagement, but what I want to do is use it to skirt the bases, you know, kind of get some easy kills. And right here, I'm going to see these Banshees moving out, and these guys, I mean, this one has 29 kills, so, and 20 kills. I guess these Banshees, those are mostly Zergling kills, but again, I guess I won't complain. Probably couldn't complain. It would be tough to say whether they were really worth it or not. I'm still behind him for units lost, and I'm still ahead of him on economy. So if we check this out right here, he's going to try to work on some of these structures right here, but he's just not going to be able to do all that much. This Queen, she is going to die, but the Spore Crawler are going to have enough DPS to take out all these Banshees. So static defenses for the win. I was able to snipe a few Marines over here and just let him know that, hey, you need to build these defenses, and this map control is mine. You have no more Banshees. I have 22 Mutalisks, which is just a crazy amount of crazy numbers. I could probably actually engage these Marines directly if the missile turrets weren't here and do a sizable amount of damage, because that's about all he has for an army right now. My supply lead is just gross compared to his. Oh, that Marine is actually going to get away. He is going to live and run, and I really need to take this base over here so bad. I need to expand desperately. So he knows that these mutas are chilling over here. He at least knows that there's enemy troops over by him, and the Thor is really what he needs at this point. So for a second thing, I'm going to engage the Muta, these Marines, but I click on them, they got +1, they have stim, so I did lose 2 Mutas in the attack. So when you take a look at that, I mean, he lost 2 Marines, and I lost 2 Mutas. That was not an effective trade at all. You just need to pull him back, and if we take a look at this, my Greater Spire is almost done. I'm transitioning into Broodlords, and my army mix is so crazy, and I'm gas-starved right now. I just do not have enough gas for anything that I want to do, so that's why I'm taking this 4th base, and I really should consider taking... excuse me, that would be a 5th base. Yeah, I really should consider taking more bases. I just need lots of bases right now. And his saturation, where are all your SCVs, buddy? Okay, most of his SCVs are down here. I would really like to see him migrate some of those back to the main part of his base. There we go. So he read my mind. He knew that I was going to tell him to in this cast, just like that. And if we check this out, his infantry armor level 2 is almost done. He's getting vehicle weapons level 1. If we take a look at my ground upgrades, I have armor level 1 and I have attack level 1 on the way, but I'm not researching armor level 2, which is definitely not a good thing. And I am morphing in Broodlords. I have a lot of mutas for some decent anti-air, and right here, I'm actually going to get a nice little engagement with these Langs and a few Banelings. So, after I was in with the mutas, and I saw that little group of Marines right there, I figured, you know, I'll send in a small group of units, I'll free up some supply and see what I can do. And if anything, that's units that he lost, I can afford to lose them. He really can't at this point. His army is spread very nicely, so it would be difficult to attack, you know, but the problem is, I could probably just pile drive straight through. Like, if I pick one location to come at him, there's not much that he can do about that. So one thing I do like is I see medevacs going along the map. There's a drop going down over here. I do not have any static defenses whatsoever. These Marines are just going to be extremely annoying. I have a few troops coming over this way, and you can see this is just a last-ditch effort grab. These mutas able to fly over here, discourage this medevac, but I can tell you one thing, guys, drops are going to be a pain in my ass because I'm not going to prepare for them quite like I should. So, Spine Crawler's going down, a few Langs, probably just going to chill over here. Nope, I'm going to grab them, I'm going to get my Broodlords, and everybody's just going to move out, and we're actually going to kind of base right over here, because I don't want him to know that I'm here. I want to be just outside of the area of his scanning tower, which is kind of cool. This Overlord over here going to tell me that that's going on. These Marines just not quite in range of the Overlord. So sad. But as you can see, I've done nothing to secure this 3rd base right here. My supply right now, he's getting closer and closer to me. The one thing benefit that I have is I'm floating a lot more minerals, and I'm on more bases than he is. So this base, because he's been mining it so heavily, is already, I'd say, about 50 to 60% mined out, and his natural is almost completely mined out. My main is mined out, my natural is further along than his is, just because I've had all that extra mining time. These Marines are going to come down up here, and they're going to be super annoying. The stim, there it comes, and a 2-pronged, beautiful attack. That's just awesome, right as I'm engaging over here, and these mutas just going to get a lot of free kills, you know, on the tanks, the medevacs, and the Thors. They could really wreck the mutas' day, and they're going to. These mutas are just, they're not being magic boxed. Ah, sad panda. And the worst part is this expansion is just dying right now because I'm not paying attention to it. You can see I sent a few units over here, but they're not quite this quick. Oh god, they're all going to... Oh, I guess the Broodlings are going to be able to clean those guys up. That's kind of neat. Those 3 Marines live to tell the tale. The Broodlords over here just engaging, doing a lot of damage, and he knows that he just does not have the army to move up against these. I have the Infestors and the Banelings on the ground, and it's just kind of the slow march of defeat right here. where the Terran cannot move in and try to do anything to this Zerg army, because the second he does, he's going to get fungal growth, and Banelings are going to come in and they're going to wreck his day. If we go to the production tab, I'm the only one producing units right now, and all the mutas just not quite in range. Banelings coming in, dealing a lot of damage to the Marines. Fungal growth's going down. Mutalisk's going to clean up a lot of those Vikings. Very nice. And Infested Terran. So many Infested Terran. Thank you, Infestors, just for being awesome and providing that necessary anti-air, bringing those Vikings down, allowing the Blue Lords to live longer. And this is just kind of one of those slow fights where the Swarm comes in and there's almost nothing that the Terran can do to stop the relentless attack of it. So we take a look at this. At the end of the game, his upgrades are 2-2. Mine are, I should say my ground units at least, very, very shitty. I never got the crack upgrade, so he definitely did a better job at getting his upgrades out than I did. I think I got kind of lazy just because I felt as though I took the advantage early in the game, and now that that third base is down, I'm just more or less waiting to get all my troops over here. As you can see, I brought a lot more Infestors over to the party, and if Galfi just decides to GG at this point because there's not much that he can do, and you know, I respect that as far as it goes. He didn't even get me a chance to say GG either. So, going back and analyzing this game critically, a couple things that happened. I like the build that he did. It's a very macro, it's an aggressive build in a non-aggressive way. It's kind of like playing aggressive economy for Terran, but what happened is that second base got out on the map so late that I was able to continually harass it and pressure it, and because he built so much tech, he did not have the money to fund an army or get anything out. Those Banshees, going double starport and getting them, I can't say that I think they did their job. Now, those Banshees got a lot of kills all over the map and killed a lot of my units, but they didn't hit these guys. They didn't hit key tech structures. They didn't stop mining, which is really what the Banshees are supposed to do in that type of play. They were shut down, more or less, not because of, well, I won't say because of scouting, because I happened to see them because they engaged my army, and they could have been very effective if I was not ready. I would have lost my third base, and it would have been a scramble to try to defend my main. But going along with that, from that moment on, just the continued harass, I think, put him behind. So that's something where, as a Zerg player, I think we play passive-aggressive, where we wait until the enemy comes at us, and then we're like, attack, 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 until we pound them into submission. This is one of those things where when you see the opportunity as a Zerg, I mean, you got to keep hitting it. It's like a crack in the armor. You keep hitting the crack in the armor until you eventually break through. And sometimes it's going to hurt, but I hope you guys enjoyed the game. This is Malikicowtipper signing off.